Welcome back students to our free learning platform Catalyst for IIT JEE. This is the 5th lecture of the lecture series on chemical kinetics, and this is the last lecture of the basic concept lecture series. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the effect of external factors on reaction rate. So in our previous 4 lectures, we covered almost everything on this chapter chemical kinetics. Now, in this lecture, we are going to talk about very important and interesting 2 factors that will affect the reaction rate. Before that, let us look at what we have learned in our lecture 4. In our lecture 4, we talked about the first order chemical kinetics, the first order reaction, the examples, and also the integrated rate equation. So we have seen that for first order reaction, the reactant concentration decreases exponentially with time. Correct? The equation it follows is like this, and if you want to plot it in a linear fashion, you can do that by plotting ln A versus t plot, where the slope of the straight line is equal to minus k, where k is your rate constant. Correct? We have also seen that the time of completion for first order reaction is infinite. We have found out that the half-life of first order reaction is independent of your initial concentration and is equal to ln 2 by k. ln 2 has the value 0.693. Now, let us look at the main concept of this lecture, the effects of external factors on reaction rate. Let us consider this reaction. R is your reactant and P is your product. So now you are familiar with this type of equation where you can write the rate of a reaction is equal to K, reactant concentration to the power N, where K is your rate constant and N is called the order of the reaction. Now there are 2 factors that we are going to talk about, the effect of temperature and the effect of catalysts. So why this effect of temperature and catalysts are important? Let us take one example. You are doing a reaction on a lab on a summer day and on a winter day. So there is a temperature difference. On a summer day, the average temperature of the room is 35 degrees centigrade, whereas on a winter day, the average temperature of the room is 25 degrees centigrade. So there is a 10 degree centigrade temperature change or temperature difference. So will you expect any change on reaction rate? So on which day the reaction will be faster, or on which day the reaction will be slower? So this is the question that you need to ask. Correct? So what happens, what we are going to expect, that is very important to know. So if you can slow down the reaction, correct? So if you can slow down the reaction based on the temperature, what you can do, you remember the first example that we talked about in our chemical kinetics lecture 1? You can slow down the rusting of iron. If you can tune the reaction rate with temperature, you can slow down the rusting of iron, because this is also a chemical reaction, right? So it is very important to know the effect of temperature, how the temperature is affecting the reaction rate. It is also important to know the effect of catalyst. We are going to discuss in detail what is catalyst and how it is going to affect the reaction rate. Now let us look at the effects of temperature on reaction rate qualitatively first. So this is the reaction where A, B, C are the reactants and A, B, C is the product, where B comes closer and by an effective collision it forms ABC product. Correct? Now what happens when you increase the temperature? You increase the temperature, that means you are increasing the velocity of the molecules. So what happens when you increase the velocity of the molecules? You are eventually increasing the kinetic energy, because the kinetic energy is half mv square. Correct? So half mv square, where m is the mass and v is the velocity. So if you increase the velocity, you are increasing the kinetic energy of the molecules. So when you increase the kinetic energy of the molecules, you are increasing the effective collision. Also, when you increase the kinetic energy, you are increasing the probability to cross this activation energy barrier. So what happens when you cross this activation energy barrier? So if you cross this activation energy barrier, you will get more products, correct? So more product formation means you are increasing the rate, correct, in a short time. So if you increase the kinetic energy of molecules, you are increasing the probability of product formation. That means you are expecting an enhancement in reaction rate. Now that is very qualitative description. So in a quantitative manner, it has been found out that for a chemical reaction with rise in temperature by 10 degree, the rate constant is nearly doubled. It is very important statement that you need to remember, or always remember, that it has been found that for a chemical reaction with rise in temperature by 10 degrees centigrade. That means if you increase the temperature by 10 degree, the rate constant is going to be doubled. How this statement comes? This statement comes from the Arrhenius equation. The Arrhenius equation says K equal to A e to the power minus A by RT. Where does this Arrhenius equation come from? It comes from the thermodynamics. Okay. Now we will solve this equation in thermodynamics lecture in detail, but at this point you just remember that this is the Arrhenius equation, where K is your rate constant, EA is the activation energy barrier, T is the temperature, absolute temperature, and R is your real gas constant, universal gas constant. Now A is called the Arrhenius factor. It is also called the frequency factor or the pre-exponential factor, because this is the exponential factor and this is the pre-exponential factor. Now this e to the power minus A by RT has to be unitless, as we have already discussed before. So what is the unit of A? Unit of A must be equal to the unit of K, which is equal to mole liter inverse 1 minus to the power 1 minus n second inverse. Now this is the unit of K for any order reaction, for nth order reaction. Now this second inverse factor is the frequency factor, because the frequency has the unit second inverse. So as this A term has the unit second inverse invoked in its unit, A is called the frequency factor. Now what happens when you increase the temperature? You increase the temperature, RT increases because R is constant. That means EA by RT is going to decrease because RT is in your denominator. Now e to the power minus EA by RT increases. That means you are increasing the K. K means rate constant, and rate constant increases. That means the rate is going to be increased. Correct? So let us take this specific example where H2 plus I2 is going to form 2HI. Now H2 plus I2 are the reactant molecules and HI is your product molecule. EA is the activation energy barrier. This is the transition state, or it is also called the activated complex. Now when thermal energy comes from the room temperature. If the room temperature is T, then the thermal energy is called the KT. K is the Boltzmann constant. This K is capital K is called Boltzmann constant. So this KT comes from the room temperature. This is called the thermal energy. Now if your thermal energy is greater than or equal to EA, that means these molecules can take energy from the room temperature. This molecule has sufficient energy, thermal energy, to cross this activation energy barrier. So if these molecules has this sufficient energy to cross this barrier, that means that they will form this product. Correct? Now this is very important to understand, because now if this energy, if you have the sufficient energy to cross EA, that will give you the product formation. Now from Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, what we know this is a distribution function which gives the information of the fraction of molecules as a function of kinetic energy. Now in a kinetic energy axis, you see that this is the kinetic energy required to match the activation energy. So if your molecule has the kinetic energy greater than EA, which is the activation energy, that means this portion of a molecule, this fraction of molecules will have sufficient energy to cross the activation energy barrier. Now Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution looks like this. how this looks like this, we will discuss in our gaseous state lecture. But at this point, you see that this is the Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution, and with temperature, it changes like this, where T2 is greater than T1. So if you increase the temperature, the area under the curve remains always same. However, the peak maxima decreases, but the spread increases. So what happens here? So as you can see, the area under the curve gives you the number of molecules that has more energy than EA. So clearly the blue curve has the more area, correct? So what happens, what it signifies that with increase in temperature, the number of molecules that have kinetic energy greater than EA increases with the increase in temperature, correct? So that means you are increasing the rate of a reaction because you are forming more products in a less time. So if you want to plot it, if you want to see it in a graphical representation, so this is the Arrhenius equation, you all know now. So if you take ln both sides, you see ln k equal to ln this part. Now if you break it down, it gives you ln a plus ln e to the power minus a by rt. So you get ln k equal to ln a minus e to the ea by rt. So if you plot ln k versus 1 by t, so this gives you a straight line with a negative slope equal to minus ea by r and a y-axis intercept equal to ln a, correct? So from experiments, if you can find out this straight line equation, you will eventually know the activation energy of the reaction from the slope, because slope is equal to minus ea by r. So ea equal to minus slope into r, where r is here equal to universal gas constant. Now at different temperature, what happens? At two different temperatures, your rate constant is going to be different, correct? So at temperature 1, if this equation is, if the rate constant is K1, and at temperature 2, T2, the rate constant is K2, then if you can subtract these two equations, what you get, ln K1 minus ln K2, then you subtract this part minus this, and then by doing this simple calculation, you cancel out this ln a part, and what you get ln K1 by K2 equal to E by R 1 by T2 minus 1 by T1, or by simplifying it, you get ln K1 by K2 equal to E A by R T1 minus T2 by T1 T2. So this equation is important to, this is not necessary to be remembered, but you can just find out from this equation. If you remember this Arrhenius equation, you can just do a simple calculation to reach this equation always in your exam. Okay. Now we are going to talk about the second effect, a second external factor, which is catalyst, the effect of catalyst on a reaction rate. So what is catalyst? Catalyst is a substance which increases the reaction rate without undergoing any chemical change. So catalyst is a substance that increases the rate of a reaction, but it does not change itself. How does catalyst work then? You have a reactant and you have a product. So you all know that reactant goes via transition state and then it forms a product. But in presence of catalyst, what it does, it decreases the energy of the transition state. So what happens? It decreases the activation energy of the reaction path, correct? So if the activation energy decreases, that means that you have to cross a less energy barrier to reach the product state. That is why the reaction rate increases. So if you try to understand it much more clearly how this occurs, so let us consider this reaction where R is your reactant, P is your product, and it goes via transition state R R has. Okay, so this is without catalyst. Now in presence of a catalyst, what happens? This transition state is getting stabilized by a complexation with the catalyst. So this R and your catalyst makes a complex which has the less energy than this R has. This transition state is of more energy than this complex transition state. So because of this stabilization of this transition state, you have to cross a less energy barrier. So that energetically favors the path, reaction path. So by decreasing the activation energy barrier, by stabilizing the transition state, a catalyst enhances a reaction rate, and this process is called the catalysis. Now what happens when you add a substance that increases the rate, that decreases the rate? So this is not catalysis, this is called inhibition, and the substance is called the inhibitor. Inhibitor is a substance which decreases the rate of a reaction, and the process is called inhibition. Okay, now at this point you don't need to worry about this inhibition processes, but it is very important to know about this catalyst and catalysis. There are few examples that involve catalysts. So decomposition of KClO3. So KClO3 in presence of MnO2 decomposes into 2KCl plus 3O2. Here if you do not add this MnO2, the reaction takes a very long time, but if you do this reaction in presence of MnO2, the reaction is very fast. So here the MnO2 is the catalyst and the process is called catalysis. The decomposition of KClO3 in presence of MnO2 is a good example of catalysis. Now hydrolysis of ester in presence of acid. H plus is acid and this is the ester, this is water, and hydrolysis of ester gives you the acid and alcohol. Now this presence of this little amount of acid increases the reaction rate. Okay, so this is also a good example of catalysis. Decomposition of N2O on hot platinum surface. Here the hot platinum surface is the catalyst. So N2O decomposes into N2 plus half O2 in presence of platinum surface, and this platinum surface increases the reaction rate. So these are three examples of catalysis. There are many more that you do not need to worry about the examples, but the process is very important to understand physically. So in this lecture we discussed about the effect of temperature on reaction rate. We talked about Arrhenius equation, and we also discussed some portion of Maxwell-Boltzmann distribution. We talked about the catalysis, effect of catalyst on reaction rate, and we also discussed some three examples of catalysis. So this is the end of the fifth lecture of the end of the basic lecture series of chemical kinetics. In our next lecture, we are going to discuss about JEE Advanced lecture series. Okay, so please note that our lecture materials, all the slide materials have been uploaded here in the description below. The link is provided, and if you like this video and if you like this, moreover if you like this platform, free learning platform Catalyst for IIT JEE, please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. Please do subscribe us and hit the bell icon so that you always get notified from our channel. You will get constant notifications all the time when you upload a new video. Thank you for your kind attention.